matchup is.
Aaron Hayworth will start with the serve for Indiana and roll away. Monson receives it quick, set in, and set down by Anna Bjork, the middle blocker and freshman. Setting the middle there.
Setting the middle, a rare thing for Notre Dame to do right out the gate, but if you're gonna do it, Bjork's the one who can get it done.
Bjork back to serve now. Indiana quickly goes their other way and sets the middle themselves with Maddie Sell.
This is explaining our illustration perfectly, Jake. A middle hit for a middle hit, which both resulted in kills. 1-1, Indiana, Notre Dame.
Delaney Maple serves it. Schrader sets it over for Trump. Sneaks it beyond the block. Hard swing, Palazzolo tried to dig out. Schrader can't get there in time.
Condella Alonso Corsellis. Coach Aird said that she has a funky arm, and he kind of lets her do whatever she wants with it. It's really hard for a defense to get into their platform and dig that out.
From Madrid, Spain, first Spanish player in the history of Indiana volleyball in their 50 years as a program. Langer is able to recompose on it. Indiana was looking for the deflection. It doesn't come. A point for Notre Dame.
Alonso Corsellis calling for the touch there, but if you look at her wrist, she didn't snap all the way through, and that's the reason for the out-of-bounds play there.
Lucy Trump gets one over and sneaks in for a service ace. Lucy Trump, the junior from Florence, Kentucky. Coach Rockwell talks about how she's playing her best volleyball when she feels comfortable and is doing what the team needs her to do. And what the team has said and echoed is they need to be heavy on the serve and pressure. Slide in there for Indiana to sneak in a point to get back tied at 3.
A great decision to be able to find that donut in the court early. Notre Dame playing a lot of perimeter defense. If Indiana can find that pocket early, they can get up on the board.
Libero Gary serving. Gardy with a hard swing. Gardy through the block, kept alive. Light tap over by Alonso Coyeles. Back once more, blocked at the net. Kept alive by the Hoosiers. Set down and pushed through by Alonso Coyeles.
Alonso Corsellis can read the block so well. She has such a powerful arm that she isn't afraid to hit through the block, but she's still able to make those slight adjustments to get that kill.
Monson saves it. Schrader is able to really swing it, and ultimately it was coming in contact Indiana's block with the net.
Lucky break there, because I'm not sure that hit would have made it over.
Hardy with a strong serve. Monson gets a forearm on it, just too far out of the reach of Langer.
I got to give credit to Monson for that play. She's one of those players that's willing to sacrifice her body on every play. Last game you saw her dive into the scores table. That's not the first time that you're going to see her hit the floor tonight.
Service error for Avery Tatum, coming off an historic night. First Indiana player with 25 kills since 2021. Went up against Ball State and was able to sneak out 5-set victory. Big swing there for Alonso Coyeles.
Alonso Corsellis looking to be the powerhouse for the Hoosiers so far. Look how she is out of bounds when making her approach. She really likes to use all of that space. It's proving to be very effective for the Hoosiers as she has 3 kills leading Indiana right now.
Corsellis back to serve. Sets it to Schrader. And when Notre Dame needed a kill, Why not go to the ACC leader in triple doubles?
Man, Schrader has had such a great year so far. 6-1 early. ACC setter of the week, but she can do it all. You call her the Swiss Army knife for a reason.
Light tap over by Saris. Lucy Trump will load up. Notre Dame gets the point. So far through these first couple points, it's been everything we thought. Back and forth and very quick offenses.
Back and forth, and I feel like it's going to be that way the whole match. Each team is just matching each other in plays, it feels like. Makes for a very competitive game ahead of conference play for both of these squads.
Service error there. Turn the serve back to the Indiana Hoosiers. Borsema, the freshman middle blocker, into serve. Uses a tape to her advantage. Notre Dame sets it up to Trump and finds the opening.
The great thing about Lucy Trump is she's able to use the same approach but adjust her hit. We saw her get a powerful swing 2 plays ago, but watch how she uses that full vertical but just uses it to tip it over the net. Really nicely done.
Really strong season for her. Lucy Trump there, misdirects it. Lucy Trump feeling herself here early in set 1.
You mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Jake, that Rockwell said Trump plays her best when she is confident. To start the match off with a service ace and a couple of kills means for a good night for her.
Already 3 kills here on the evening. He comes in. Back row set to Palazzolo, kept alive by Indiana. Block at the net, pushed 4. Schrader sets the middle. And Bjork is able to get the point for Notre Dame.
Utilizing the middles has been so huge for Notre Dame. Take a look at Bjork's approach and ability to shift her body weight just a little bit to the right to get that kill.
Indiana has to go chasing for, but it's a service ace for Sydney Palazzolo. Palazzolo a year ago. So strong from the line, continuing that here in 2024. Blocked by Gardy. Gary keeps it alive with the pass to the back row attack for Alonzo Coaselis. Schrader comes in, Monson gets it over. On the slide, Schrader again with the dig. Come near side, blocked down, Gary keeps it alive, and Notre Dame with a hard-fought point.
Monson and Schrader, what a fantastic senior duo to have on the court at all times. As I mentioned before, Monson willing to sacrifice her body. She does not give up on a play. Even if it's a wild ball, she is ready to go at all times, as well as Schrader. What a fantastic sequence.
Gonna take a look on the review here. First review of the day. And whether Schrader got the pancake out and was able to sneak it in. The line judge had signaled that it was down for a point earlier.
Those pancake plays are certainly tough because the only thing between the ball and the floor is maybe a pinky, maybe a pointer finger. It's really hard to decide. Officials taking their moment. That'll be the first challenge of the game.
Yeah, Patricia Salvatore, our referee 1. Terry Miller, our downward official, who's over at the monitor right now. Part of the ABCA crew that's here officiating the game. And part of the 2-challenge system instituted into women's college volleyball. With the green card, have 2 challenges. Take another look here. Ooh.
By looking at that angle, Jake, I think the ball might have touched the ground first before it landed on Schrader's pointer finger. But that is a close call. That's a really good shot right there by our replay crew. And I feel as if the ball did hit the court first.
Well, as Terry Miller comes off the monitor. And get the call from the whistle. Will decline. And it was an inconclusive replay there and wasn't enough to overturn. As we always say when you go to the monitor, gotta have hardcore evidence to overturn it. That time it's inconclusive.
Has to be without a doubt. Notre Dame continuing to build that 5-point lead and caught another break here. This is a huge challenge for the Fighting Irish.
Notre Dame on a 6-0 scoring run currently. Back set in quickly. That is answered by a Maddie Sell kill.
I love to see Maddie Sell getting involved early, the junior middle blocker out of Baldwin, Missouri. Last game she struggled a little bit, totaling only 2 kills, but it's great to see her back where she thrives.
Earth with a service error gives Notre Dame the point. Notre Dame continuing to keep the good times rolling here. Bjork, a laser across the net. Strong swing, Tatum pushes it out of bounds and into the green.
Tatum taking a moment to find her groove. 1 kill on the match so far. She's going for that cross-court shot over near the back left corner.
Strong swing, that's blocked at the net by Tatum. And Notre Dame picks up the point. Notre Dame leading by 7 into the first media break here in South Bend.
This is the ACC.
Indiana and Notre Dame. Overall, Notre Dame has the edge, leading 7-4, but it's a little shocking for both parties involved that they haven't seen each other since 2003. Both coaches hoping that they can get this rivalry back.
Coach Steve Aird said, what a shame that it's been that long, you know, just to be 2 hours down the road. It seems like a fun Power 5 conference matchup that could be played every year. But hey, there's no time like the present. Both of these programs are off to a great start to the season. So I think this is the perfect year to get that matchup back and rolling.
And for Notre Dame, they have history on their side here in South Bend. Indiana has only been able to pick up a win once in the series here, and it was back in 1990. Great start for Indiana to save themselves. Gary with a big dig, but high enough into the air to get it back over, allow Notre Dame to set their offense. Gardy on the strong swing. The freshman.
Rockwell said Gardy has been strategically placed for this matchup. She had to move around her rotation just a little bit to get Gardy exactly where she wanted her, and that's paying off early for the freshman.
After a quick little check of the books, back playing Notre Dame on a 9-1 scoring run. That'll end here with the service error. And the ball back over to Indiana. Delaney Maple back to serve. Graduate transfer from USC. Didn't come in playing indoor, rather was a beach volleyball star, winning 4 national championships with the Trojans. Decides to elevate herself here in her final year with the COVID eligibility waiver. Is taking off for the Hoosiers and starting to get the hang of the indoor game once more. James serves it over. Quick set to the middle. Sell gets it go down. Great play by Langer. But ultimately, it's the Hoosiers being able to push it across with no one there for Notre Dame.
The Hoosiers were able to get the Fighting Irish out of system there, which if they're going to be successful and catch up that 6-point deficit, that is a fantastic way to do it.
Kenzie Daphne, the senior outside hitter, is dumped into the game to serve. Serving specialist is going to have some crazy top spin on the jump serve.
"31 aces for her over the last 2 seasons. Had 2 service aces, but 5 errors versus Ball State.
Hard serve that Motson's able to receive. Gardy's able to change the directions and get the deflection to get Notre Dame back serving.
The task at hand was to get Daphne off that service line. We saw that top spin that was perfectly executed. Gardy knowing that she has to hit hard to end that streak early.
Gardy, the Angola, Indiana native, using the tape there to pick up a service ace. Notre Dame shooting the bow and arrow into the sky.
It's Gardy's first service ace of the season.
First of her career as well for Notre Dame. And Steve Aird wants to take a timeout to talk things over with his squad. Notre Dame with a 9-point lead right now here in set 1. Haley, what have you seen thus far?
So far, the Fighting Irish are winning the offensive battle, hitting .474 compared to the Hoosiers' .120 right now. At the forefront of Notre Dame, it's Lucy Trump with 3 kills, and Morgan Gardy, Fiona Schrader, and Anna Bjork with 2 kills apiece. Notre Dame's really distributing their offense across different pieces, not just the pin players, but involving the middles, which I think is enough to throw off Indiana's defense right now.
And for these two coaches, it's not just an in-state battle, it's a friendship battle as well. Salima Rockwell along with Steve Aird, they're both on the 2007 National Championship team for Penn State. And taking a look there, they go back a while, and both coaches talked about how special it would be to have them be on different benches and coaching against one another.
Look at those sweet hats for one. 2007, yeah, Coach Aird was saying earlier this week that when you win a national title together, you are tied for life. That is such an unbreakable bond that these two have. Rockwell said that it is a competitive matchup, but she said both coaches are planning on having fun with it, taking it serious, of course, but you know, Aird said he's rooting for Rockwell on any other day except for today.
And cool opportunity that really good friends get to go up against each other. And Coach Aird said it best earlier this week to us. If we play people in non-con, might as well play a person you can hang out with, win or lose afterwards. And he loved it and loves Salima and about her coaching style, and thought Notre Dame was able to pick up one of the biggest hires they've had to bring Notre Dame back to prominence. It's looking that way so far through this first set. They've got everything going for them.
Aird said he learned a lot from Lima, as he calls her, and claims that Notre Dame could potentially be a Sweet 16 team within the next few seasons.
Watson serves it into the net there and gets the Indiana Hoosiers' feet under them to try and go work into this 8-point lead Notre Dame has amassed over this first set. Back to serve. An ace for her off the deflection that Notre Dame can't corral.
Alonso Corsellis, another powerhouse server. That is her 12th service ace of the season. Indiana known for their serving, 200+ aces in the past 2 seasons, something that Aird wants to focus on in recruiting and even more for this season.
Barry digs it out, but can't pass it to another player. Notre Dame just swings the pendulum back their way.
Shade Ilawole doing everything she can do, minus jumping over the bench to get that ball. Like to see the nice hustle from her, the freshman setter.
Schrader with the serve herself. Right to pass up. Blocked by Notre Dame. And the net for Sarah Harris. He's set down.
Sarah's struggling to get going a little bit, hitting a negative 286 right now.
And you look at it right now, Indiana shooting themselves in the foot a little bit here with 6 service errors on themselves. Those are 3 points for Notre Dame, but they get a big point there on the strong swing.
A nice momentum change that the Hoosiers needed. But to finish your thought there, Aird said that he believes his team is one of the best serving teams in the country, but they haven't quite hit their stride in that category just yet this season.
Docker with the dig up to Trump, off the deflection. Was able to get the kill and put Notre Dame 2 points away from picking up set 1.
Trump doing such a phenomenal job reading the block. She's adjusted her arm several times. She's gone to the right, she's gone down line. I love seeing the variety from her so far in this start that she's getting.
Palazzolo gets it across, a pushover by Hayworth, and proves beneficial for Indiana.
A really good side out by the Hoosiers. Although down 8, Indiana is a team that is capable of coming back, so I like how they play all the way through despite the Fighting Irish being 2 away from closing this first one out.
Schrader with the setup to Gardy, and Gardy with a massive kill.
What a placement for the freshman right now. Getting up, doing a crunch mid-air, and placing that ball just a couple inches beyond the 10-foot line in the seam of the defense. Nicely done by Gardy.
Indiana can't receive the serve, and Notre Dame wins the first set, 25.
One set. We've seen them be down 1 set before in their win over Colorado State. Dropped the first set and then came out swinging in those final 3. So the Hoosiers had time to regroup and, yes, need to focus on their clip here as they hit 143 in the first set.
They get it going here in set 2. Big start there for the Hoosiers with Maddie Sell, the junior middle blocker. Transferred in from Missouri in the offseason and been key in the depth to the middle. That has a bunch of new faces for this Indiana team. Lucy Trump with a hard swing to tie it back at 1.
Trump tied with Alonzo Corcelis for 5 kills on the match so far. We circled her name when they announced her as a starter for Notre Dame and coming out with confidence early.
Tapped over by Hayworth. Point for Notre Dame after Hayworth extends over the net too far.
Now this play, I felt this could have happened. There has been a rule change in college volleyball where you can hit the ball twice if you hit it back on your same side. So if you see some hits that are a little bit close at the top of the net, that is why.
Big point there for Indiana.
Here comes Avery Tatum, nearly knocking out Hattie Monson in the process, not afraid to hit to the libero.
Sent down to her knees for the set and gets it to Morgan Gardy. Alice Sant, a transfer from St. Mary's, came in with her 5th-year COVID waiver. And for Salima Rocco, for the 2nd straight year, going into the transfer portal and bringing out a really strong setter. Last year did it with Nicole Drunick, this year with Ella Sant, and it pays off once more here early in the year for Notre Dame with Schrader, the other setter, getting a swing.
Schrader coming off such a phenomenal week. ACC Setter of the Week, a few triple doubles. She only got 1 last year and led the ACC, and now she said, how about I triple that for this year with still plenty of volleyball games to be played.
You watch Fiona Schrader and just is playing free, it appears. Monson gets a forearm on it. Tapped over by Schrader. What an opportunistic point for the Fighting Irish.
The thing that is so entertaining about watching Schrader is she could be digging out the ball. She could be setting, or she could be putting a sneaky tip into the hole of the defense.
They're taking the timeout, which sends us to our first media break of the second set. Notre Dame leading 5-2 here in the second set.
I was so excited when I heard this sandwich was back. I was like,
Being Olivia Babcock, who is putting herself really in strong contention to be Player of the Year potentially for the Pitt Panthers.
Notre Dame saw Olivia Babcock in full swing last season, but it just says how great this conference is to keep seeing these players' names over and over, and for Schrader to be in the conversation, and I would argue she was the player of the week.
Schrader can't make contact there, and Indiana off the timeout, putting together a little bit of a service run. Get the momentum back their side.
This is exactly what Indiana needs to get back into it. Go back to what they know, which is consistent serving, something they have been struggling a little bit as of late, but they are certainly very capable as one of the best serving teams in the country.
Set to Schrader, and Schrader able to get it on the line to get the point for Notre Dame. And quickly, Steve Aird is going to want to challenge this. Oh, I think he might have a case here. It did not look like it hit on the line. And Steve Aird, that's the bench right in front of him. He's looking at it and wants to go to the challenge. And for him, this would eliminate the rest of the challenge if it's not successful here. Already used one earlier in the game on the Fiona Schrader dig that came back unconclusive.
And in college volleyball, if you challenge and lose the challenge, then you're done. You don't get any more. So if you use them early, that's it. But I do, Jake, I think you're right. I think this was a great challenge by Aird, especially when you're 2 points behind. That's an important time for the Hoosiers to potentially get that point back. It's hard to tell with Schrader's hits because she goes back and forth between the hard and soft touch. She can put it precisely on the line, so I get why it is so difficult to decipher whether or not it's on a line. Let's take a look at this angle here, looking at that ball right side of your screen. Did it touch the tape? That was really close. We're talking inches, centimeters here. Looking to see if that ball caught any tape from that shot right there. It looks like it did. And Indiana will win the challenge and therefore keep their challenge.
Yeah, big challenge there, Steve Aird. And Indiana now with the swing gets themselves tied with Notre Dame at 5 apiece.
That could have been just what they needed to reset the tone of this entire game.
It's a pseudo timeout as well in that regard. You get to talk to your team as Terry Miller goes over and looks at the monitor. Notre Dame gets it over. Now it allows the Hoosiers to get set up in their offense. Strong push by Borsima. Now Palazzolo. Big dig from Coyeles. Sant right up against the net, sets it for Schrader. Hayworth dumped it across. Now Palazzolo with the swing and sees an opening in the back row and takes advantage.
Off of an out-of-system set as well. What I like about Palazzolo is even if she gets the bump set, she still hits. She doesn't want to give the other team an opportunity to have a free ball.
Now Hattie Monson, one of the 2 team captains that were announced for Notre Dame this past week. Her and Ella Sant leading this Irish program on the court and in the locker room. Indiana getting the point there to be tied back with Notre Dame. Sant to Palazzolo. And Borsama can't corral it, and Gary comes right back onto the court.
Talk about a perfectly in-system play. That could not have gone any better, and Palazzolo's there to finish.
Strong swing that is able to go Indiana's way. Alonzo Cordelis.
About Alonso Corsellas, she originally wanted to play by the ocean, but Coach Steve Aird convinced her somehow to come to the Midwest. He's a fantastic recruiter because there are no oceans around here, Jake.
I was going to say, last time I checked, I didn't realize Bloomington got an ocean.
We're close to Lake Michigan, so hey, maybe they take a spin of 30 minutes out of the way. But she really liked Indiana's culture. And as I mentioned earlier, Aird said he lets her do what she wants with her swings, and he hasn't had to coach her on serving or anything like that. He's blessed to have her in Bloomington, he says.
So you don't have to coach on serving, as well as Sydney Palazzolo picking up another ace there. Her second of the evening. On the slide, strong swing from Tatum that goes out of bounds.
Rockwell said one thing the Fighting Irish needed to be aware of was Indiana's slide attack. Tatum is usually at the forefront of that, but just couldn't get her wrist snapped in time to put it into the ground.
Sal just gets it over. Notre Dame looking to go in system for the back row set attack to Sydney Palazzolo.
Palazzolo is such a strong back row hitter as well. You have to be really careful when you're hitting from the back row because you can't make it over that 10-foot line, but she has a similar approach to when she's hitting from the outside. It's almost as if she's never left her comfort zone when she's over there.
Shows you why Palazzolo is a 6th rotation player for Notre Dame. Indiana was able to pick up the point there. That sends Delaney Maple to serve. A diving serve right off her fist. Light swing over that Schrader can't get through. Alonzo Corsellas does a great job of sneaking it beyond the block. Schrader tried to come in and save it.
Great placement by Alonzo Corsellas and a great up by Schrader, but just couldn't get to the setter in time.
Hold the serve once more. Garney blocked at the net.
Tatum and Sell, 4 hands, 20 fingers. Look at this timed block. I think Tatum got the bulk of that, so that'll be credited as a solo block. But nice to know that Sell is right there in case Notre Dame tried to go to the seam.
Palazzolo. Corsellas working it through the Notre Dame block. Gets Indiana back tied with Notre Dame at 11.
Alonzo Corsellas on fire, having such a good matchup for the Hoosiers. Last game it was Tatum, and this time it's the Madrid, Spain native.
Gardy has Gary chasing it down. And Corsellas gets it across. Trump tried to push it through the block, has it rejected. Hayworth sets to Sell and gets the kill.
Really good combination from Hayworth and Sell. That is called a one set. When you barely set it just above the net, Sell had to have a perfectly timed approach for that. Watch how short the set was, not a lot of air underneath, and Sell puts it to the right side of Notre Dame's territory.
Salima Rockwell is going to use one of her timeouts to talk things over with her squad. And for Indiana, coming in, have played some really strong volleyball here in the second set.
Playing really great volleyball. And as we mentioned before, we can reflect back on the Colorado State game when they were down in that first set. But it's a team run by Airden. You know he's going to be tough on those girls in the best kind of way. You can see him leading the huddle right now, drawing up plays. They are all locked in. What a great set for them to make adjustments. Their serving has been better, and also their hitting percentage keeps going up.
And for Indiana, hitting at a 205 clip in comparison to Notre Dame's 425. It has been a really strong day for Notre Dame offensively at the net.
Indiana improving from 143 in the first set to, as you mentioned, 205. So they are slowly climbing up that ladder. It's looking great, and they're rewarded with that 1-point lead.
Taking a look at Alonzo Corsellis' night. 9 kills. The rest of the team only has 7. She's been putting the team on her back right now.
Aird said he did want to distribute the offense a little bit more, but if it's working for Alonzo Corsellis and the Fighting Irish can't seem to figure out how to defend her, then I say keep feeding her the ball until you make it to 25.
Service error there with Delaney Maple serving it into the net. And it's very reminiscent of what Indiana produced in their last game against Ball State, having to have Avery Tatum really take on the brunt of the load. And Coach Aird was open with us. You don't want to have that happen every day, but if you see a player that's on and it's the matchup that's working, you got to go to it. And for right now, Alonzo Corsellis appears to be the matchup that's working for Indiana, but Notre Dame there gets the kill.
You take a look at the stats now, yes, Notre Dame does have a more balanced attack. Lucy Trump with that last kill, Fiona Schrader, Morgan Gardy. Then you look at the Hoosier side, and it's all Alonzo Corsellis.
And who else but Alonzo Corsellis right there. Her 10th kill of the evening.
It's working. It's working. She needs to eat, so feed her. She put that ball right beyond the 10-foot line. She's showing us her toolkit right now and putting on a clinic for the Hoosiers.
Gary goes sliding for it. Hayworth sets it over. Notre Dame into system. Lucy Trump with a hard swing. Now back row, set right over by Maple. Gardy this time. Gary gets under it. And Notre Dame, they will pick up the point. Great volley between the two teams.
Really good sequence from both squads. That last ball almost looked like a phantom ball. It looked like it was just over the net, but barely slid by.
Off the block. Salas will break it through. And Schrader with the free ball over the middle takes advantage.
That is one of the strengths of Notre Dame, is when you have Fiona Schrader in the front row, it doesn't look like she's going up to hit, but she quickly adjusted her body to the left to get that full swing in, and what a powerhouse hit that was.
Quickly showing off a powerhouse hit herself is Grace Langer.
To be able to do the same play just one spot over in the middle and utilize Langer is how Notre Dame is winning this game, by distributing that offense.
Notre Dame has been able to distribute it. They now get themselves a 3-point lead over Indiana here in set 2. And for Notre Dame, increasing their side-out percentage, 69% in comparison to Indiana's 47.5% right now. And Indiana have to try and work through that.
This second set is more reflective on what I thought would happen. Both of these teams are so close. 6-1 for Notre Dame, 6-2 for IU. Both of these teams also coming off of really busy weeks of volleyball. For Notre Dame, they played 3 days in a row, Thursday through Saturday last week versus Northwestern, Colorado State, and Northwestern once again. Rockwell said she was really proud of their performance, the team's ability to side out. Then you go down the road to the Hoosiers. They played 2 games on Friday, Chicago State and USI, and then one on Saturday, Ball State. Went 3-0 on the weekend as well. Went to 5 sets with Ball State, and that's where Tatum had that video game career-high 25 kills. Aaron said once again that he wanted to distribute more offensively. But what a busy schedule that both of these teams have had ahead of conference play. But hey, get those reps in and you're ready to face the best teams of the Big Ten and the ACC.
And for Notre Dame, you get the test of the ACC quick. Next weekend, you have Stanford and Cal back here in Purcell Pavilion. While on the other side, for Indiana, they take on Washington and Oregon, 2 new teams to the Big Ten, part of conference's realignment. So they head out to the Pacific Northwest. A big start there with Washington out to an undefeated start, really showing how much depth there is in the Big Ten with the new additions.
Going to start really getting those flight miles too. That's the beauty of the Big Ten. That's going to be across all time zones this year. Don't you just love sports?
It's one of a kind. Morgan Gardy with the kill there. Morgan Gardy, the in-state recruit from around an hour and 15 minutes away from Angola, Indiana. Coach Rockwell echoed to us how important her recruit pickup was. Snagged her right out of Big Ten country, brought her into the ACC, and she has been everything that you thought she was going to be from her club volleyball days and high school volleyball days. And for Coach Rockwell, talked about how Gardy is a recruit that brings in other recruits, showing how they can get themselves to that next level.
Exactly. She went to Notre Dame, so other players like her will go to Notre Dame. The number 5 player in the nation by both Volleyball Magazine. She's also an All-American. She was her team's MVP all 4 years. That's a player you want to follow to South Bend, Indiana.
Schrader with a swing there. Notre Dame back up by 3 here.
Schrader's approach there was perfect. She's gone cross-court a little bit, aiming for that 10-foot line, but that time she adjusted and went line.
Monson, Haworth with the set to Corsellis. Can't get it over.
A rare miss from Candela Alonso Corsellis this game, trying something different, hitting from the back row and mistimed that jump.
Haworth back to Corsellis again, and this time it pans out for the Hoosiers.
She said, no, I got it this time. She got the timing back. We've seen her thrive from the outside hitter position, but now that she's in the back row, a 6 rotation player, it's nice to see her pulling out some different tools that she has in her kit.
Iwalule back to serve. Palazzolo works it through the block. It was sitting on the net for a little, but falls on the Indiana side of the net.
For Indiana's defense, that is so hard to retrieve because it dances on top of the net. You almost have to be camped out directly underneath, expecting it to be able to pop that up.
Haworth with a set on McGinnis. And can't get it there, and it's a block for Notre Dame.
A solo block for the matter by Lucy Trump. She's 6 feet tall, which might seem pretty tall. It certainly is, but she's definitely not the tallest on her team. For her to be able to jump and get that solo block all on her own, what a really cool accomplishment for her in this match.
Both these two teams aren't crazy at the block, but for Notre Dame winning it right now with 4 to Indiana's 2, excuse me.
Alonso Corsellis went for the seam of the defense, and that's the one time it didn't pay off as a Fighting Irish defender wasn't there, which meant that it went right out of bounds.
Worth right up against the net, sets it to Saris. Can't get the swing.
The thing about Saris is she has such a hard-hitting arm, a lot of pressure that she puts behind that ball, but she's got to learn how to reel in that power. Just a rare mishap from her. Normally, she's so fantastic from that position.
Hayworth. And Indiana back again. Trump kept it alive off the antenna. That goes Indiana's way.
That's the first time where you've seen the new rule in effect, where Trump is able to hit that ball twice. Didn't work out in Notre Dame's favor there, but a great side out for the Indiana Hoosiers.
Laser on a serve for an ace.
Wow, did you see that top spin by Cameron Hayworth, the best server on the team? That's her 17th service ace of the season. Now she only needs 17 more aces to pass IU's all-time service ace record.
Schrader on the back to Trump. Light tap over. Palazzolo has Monson pass. Trump tried to sneak it by the block. Sal rejected, but it goes out of bounds. And Indiana putting together themselves a rally. Hudson down to a slide. Palazzolo as it goes out of bounds, and that's when you know your own home court. Don't need to go reaching for it.
If you're Indiana, your platform almost has to be perfect to dig out a Palazzolo hit. Palazzolo been so effective tonight. That's her 5th kill, hitting a 500 clip right now.
It's impressive what she's putting together. Really impressive. Nice Sal was able to do there.
We've called Sel's name a little bit more so far in this set. Definitely making a comeback from her last game. Able to put the ball wherever she wants when she can read that block well enough. Talented volleyball player out of Baldwin, Missouri, and a high volleyball IQ.
Monson. Go to Trump. Hayworth behind the back set. Notre Dame keeps alive from the Tatum attack. Notre Dame picks up the second set. They lead. Right inside this building, they were able to take their talents across the street to the ice rink, and they were able to see 1333, the highest attendance in 10 years for a home opener, and for Notre Dame, really showing the effects Salima Rockwell has and the effects it has on the court right there with a big point to start things off.
Rockwell is such a community-based coach. She loves Notre Dame. She loves getting out in that community, and that's just a testament to what she's been able to do for the program in the past 3 years. That Compton game was awesome. Hockey sticks were confiscated because people were being too loud. It certainly was a sight to see, and something that Rockwell said she wants to do next year as well.
Lucy Trump gets it across the net. Off balance push over the net by Tatum. Trump tries to go back corner, and it works. Notre Dame now start things off on a 2-0 service run.
The Trump show continues. You see she's using all of her space, coming from outer bounds, extending that right hand all the way as high as she can, and snapping down for the kill.
York back to serve. Tatum works it through the block. Just shows you how much power she has behind her swing. And Fort Tatum has had a connection to Indiana for a very long time. Was coached by Rachel Lawrence, the associate head coach for high school volleyball as well as club volleyball, before she came to join Steve Aird on his staff. For Gardy, Notre Dame returns back to the rally point ways.
Gardy is now the third Fighting Irish teammate to reach 7 kills behind Lucy Trump and Fiona Schrader. Sydney Palazzolo just needs 1 more, and then 4 players with 7 kills.
Fiona Schrader on triple-double watch. There is a little bit of an awkward play from Grace Langer, the freshman middle blocker.
Could see she was trying to put it right back to the right side of the court just by zone 4, but mistimed that jump, and she knew it.
Sant chases it down and set for Fiona Schrader. Right now, that is her 8th kill. Has 13 assists, 10 digs. She now has to try and go get 2 more kills to make it her 4th triple-double of the young season.
It's becoming so common for her, which is the crazy thing. Oh, another triple-double, just a normal night for Fiona Schrader.
Sant tried to come sliding in, couldn't get there in time.
The crazy thing about that is you look at Sant, who was going to be setting, and now it goes back to Fiona Schrader, immediately going from the position to get a kill to now setting again. I asked earlier, is there any confusion between the two? And there doesn't seem to be. This squad has finished out the rotation and who they're setting the ball to really well.
Goes to Schrader there, but that time has it rejected by a Hoosier blockade. Tatum now to serve. Sant chases it down. Palazzolo is able to find the back corner and get the kill.
And now with that kill, she is the 4th player to reach 7 or more hits for the Fighting Irish. The game plan is working for Salima Rockwell.
For Coach Rockwell, talked about how unique this season is with how much depth Notre Dame has had. Most depth she's ever had. And it's depth at the net there for Fiona Schrader along with Bjork.
To be able to have that kind of depth, Jake, 22 players on the roster, you have depth at every position. You can play full games in practice if you want to. It's really good for this Fighting Irish program and shows that players want to play here in South Bend.
Palazzolo with a strong swing, kept alive by Indiana. Has it rejected at the net, kept alive by Indiana. Now Notre Dame will be able to set up their system. Santa Palazzolo, and Indiana is able to capitalize on the error.
A great read from Indiana's defense as Palazzolo has been switching it up between cross court and going line. Really good at placing it in that zone 1, but good on the Hoosiers for being able to let that one fly out.
Corsellis up against the net. York can't get it onto the hardwood. And now Indiana tying themselves back up with Notre Dame, this time at 6. For Steve Hare, the coach of Indiana, has who he wants on the service line, Corsellis. And it's a block there for Indiana. Borsema sets it down. Freshman middle blocker.
Borsema played for 3-time Olympian Loy Ball and club. Take another look at that block from her, standing tall at 6'2" from Churubusco, Indiana.
Just as quickly, Notre Dame was leading the block battle 4-2. Indiana has come blazing back. Now be tied with Notre Dame at 5 apiece, and representative in the score as well. Hayworth. Dockery's able to dig it out.
I want to give credit to Dockery on that play. That was a hard hit, being able to pop that up to set up the Fighting Irish in system. Rockwell has said that Dockery has been their saving grace at some points this season. Not a starter, but definitely a key player.
Service error there for Notre Dame, and now Indiana Back tie to 8, this time to send Borsima back. And for Kaylee Dockery, she is the spark plug for Notre Dame. She brings all the energy. If she's off the court, she is there running the chants and is bought into this Notre Dame program with Salima Rockwell at the helm. Pushed it across. A joust at the net. Goes Notre Dame's way.
If there's a joust that's happening and Lucy Trump has anything to do with it, she is standing tall in the blocking position and able to place that ball really close to the net. A nice skill set of hers.
Palazzolo gets it across. That's Corsellis from the back row. Notre Dame will set Gardy. Schrader to Palazzolo. Dug out. And Indiana off the deflection. Picks up the point.
Here comes Maddie Sell, the junior middle blocker out of Baldwin, Missouri. Missouri transfer, appeared in 7 matches at Mizzou.
Notre Dame picks up the point. This is what we somewhat thought we were going to see. A little bit more back and forth, trading points, playing a little more tic-tac-toe than we saw through the first 2 sets of just Notre Dame taking the driver's seat and not letting it go. Set down at the block by Lucy Trump. For Notre Dame, able to put 2 together there and now create a little bit of a service run. This time for Anna Bjork. A blocker that serves and has great pace to it.
The official is calling it a lift just because it fell through the fingertips. She laughed at herself and said, oops. Still having some discussion with the official. As you can see, it hit her hand a little bit awkwardly, and that was initially ruled as a lift. Captain Palazzolo able to come and speak to the up official about that one.
And Coach Rockwell not happy with it, and didn't appear necessarily to change all the direction or have a lift there, and Coach Rockwell not happy that it was blown dead in the midst of it before really anything could have happened. But there for Notre Dame, doesn't matter with the service error. See Trump gets it across, and Schrader has a go to Gardy. And what a block by the sensational freshman Morgan Gardy. The Gardy party has entered Purcell.
Gardy and Langer, what a couple of forces here, and that was all Gardy. She had her face above the net, willing to use anything to get that point for the Irish. Nicely done.
Chased down by Gary there. Schrader, what a set and what a kill. What an athletic play by Fiona Schrader to set it in motion over to the freshman Morgan Gardy, and Steve Aird can only do but call a timeout with Notre Dame up 4 and leading 2-0 here in South Bend. Fiona Schrader putting on a clinic here tonight. Welcome you back here. Notre Dame has a really balanced attack right now. 8 kills through 4 of their best players so far in the young season. Showing you the depth Notre Dame has had. Really the first time in Salima Rockwell's era in her 3rd year as the coach, and depth is on full display there with Morgan Gardy picking up the kill.
The depth is so important. As you mentioned, when Rockwell first got here, she had a couple of players graduating. She had a couple players that transferred. So for her to be able to have options at every position is such a nice treat for her this season. It's been so effective for the Fighting Irish in their first 7 games.
Trump went chasing it down, but couldn't get it back into play for one of her teammates. See it come right by. Come right flying. Whoop.
It's Alonzo Corsellis again. Lucy Trump with a hand on it. Another one of those players who will get to the floor before the whistle is blown.
Good up to her hand, held up. Paulo staying in it the entire way. Didn't lose the camera shot. Blocked there at the net, set down by Schrader. And now Schrader 1 kill away from her 4th triple-double of the year.
Schrader is so proactive. That ball probably didn't even need the tip, but she was right there anyway just to put it down with authority and ensure that Notre Dame got that point.
On the slide, great attack by Tatum.
Tatum is that Hoosier who you can count on to perfect that slide attack. Rockwell was anticipating it. The scouting report was anticipating it. We've seen a couple from her this evening so far. She is so good at that play.
Dockery digs it out and has it go all the way over off the dig and goes out of bounds ultimately. Give Indiana the point. Now Tatum averages just under a half a service ace each set. As Palazzola works it through the block. Get Notre Dame the point.
When you need to side out, you look at Palazzolo, who uses every bit of the green and brown for her approach to get the Notre Dame back on track. Team's leader in kills with 84 to start the night. Much more to finish the night.
Indiana is able to find it into the corner with Corsellis.
Indiana's side out percentage sitting at 50% so far on the match, whereas for Notre Dame it's 70.2.
Steve Ayer would like to see that come up a little bit. And Coach Rockwell going to listen to her bench and is going to go make the challenge here. Terry Miller will once more head over to the monitor.
Another good use of the challenge card by Coach Salima Rockwell. Multiple players, when they are calling for the touch, you know that they have a better vantage point. The initial ruling was ball out. Schrader was the first one to throw her hand up and say touch. Take a look at the right side of your screen. She goes for the left-handed hit. We are looking for any sort of contact from a Hoosier hand or arm. Difficult to tell as the ball is moving so fast and across the net. Perhaps you can look at Camdella Alonzo Corsellis, who is just beyond the 10-foot line, or up front at the net.
Either or, it looks like it hits the hardwood there, whether it doesn't come in or not, and that's the question of whether it comes down and hits it before.
Bounced just before the tape is what it appears. And I think you're right. The Fighting Irish squad initially called for a touch, but I think the ball was in to begin with, as you mentioned. No need for it.
They thought it was off the deflection. I think it's just good no matter what here.
That's a good eye there, because from that last vantage point, you're exactly right. A couple inches before the tape. And another great challenge. Indiana trying to sweep the Hoosiers in 3 sets after such a busy week of volleyball. 3 games back to back to back.
And on top of this, there's added pressure. If Terry Miller and the official crew overturn it, that would be the triple-double for Fiona Schrader. It would be her 4th of the year, and just shows you what a great athlete she is.
Anxiously awaiting. You can see a couple of them pacing back and forth on the Notre Dame sideline. The 4th triple-double ACC setter of the week. Fiona Schrader has grown leaps and bounds. Rockwell has said she's gotten so much better at reading the block this year. That's what's making her an elite player. On top of that, as a setter, she is not afraid to dump the ball on that second hit, something that we don't see. I remember when I originally looked at her stats, I thought, is this correct that she has all of these kills? And Rockwell said that's no mistake. And the Fighting Irish will win that challenge. Not off the touch, but because the play was in all along.
And with the overturn, Fiona Schrader picks up her 4th triple-double of the season. 10 kills, 16 assists, 13 digs, and we're still playing volleyball. It's impressive what the senior from Iowa has put together. Thackeray digs it for Trump, and Trump gets the deflection. And Notre Dame cruising here, and Steve Aird's going to take a timeout. Wants to try and get the pendulum back the Indiana way.
Notre Dame certainly in good shape, hitting a 378 compared to Indiana's 177 so far. The Fighting Irish out digging the Hoosiers 32-29 and out blocking 7-5. They're leading in all statistical categories, meaning they're doing everything they've been asked to do by Rockwell in this match. They're distributing the offense. Rockwell also requested that she wants her team to get better at passing all around. Not just her liberos and defensive specialists, but everybody that's a 6 rotation player. She wants to see them be able to pop that ball up, stay in system, because anytime you're in system, you can win games that much easier.
And they're going to be looking to win games in this upcoming schedule that it gets tough quick for them. You look at Stanford, Cal, they have them here in a weekend. Then the following weekend after that, you welcome in Georgia Tech and Clemson, 2 very solid programs in the ACC. So within your first 4 games in the ACC, you see 2 teams that are ranked.
Which it's great to get those teams out of the way early to see how you fare against the best of the best. Aird says this team, Notre Dame, could be a Sweet 16 team. Well, here's the perfect test for Rockwell and her squad to see if they can hang with those teams that are ranked some of the best in the country. But before that, they will play Indiana again, this time in Bloomington for their next match.
Yeah, it's part of a home and home. They'll play at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Block there. Bjork on an island and comes up with it.
If there's such thing as a blocking island, Bjork is the queen of it, and trusted by her teammates to get that solo block on her own. She's there. She has great position, such a strong threat from the middle, adding to that depth for the Fighting Irish.
Schrader with a laser of a serve, and it's an ace.
Schrader has been working on that new jump serve with the top spin in the offseason and all season. Rockwell's talked about it and how much effort and work that Schrader has put into this. Proving to be a threat once again all around the court. 6 rotations and from the service line too.
Coach Rockwell talked to us earlier this week about how Notre Dame needed to apply the service pressure, and so far doubling up the Hoosiers in service aces. Have to eliminate, though, the service errors we saw there from Schrader.
She's got 16 service errors on the season. That is going to happen when you have such a powerful serve with a top spin. As many service aces as you are going to get with a serve that difficult, errors are going to follow.
Service error on the other side for Indiana. And Notre Dame 3 points away from sweeping Indiana on the start of this home-and-home weekend set. An in-state rivalry renewed. First time since 2003 these two teams have played against each other. Monson sets it to Trump, and it's rejected at the net with the block.
Maddie Sell and Maddie Saris. Maddie Square building a wall, perfectly timed. Both of them are really close in height. When you have two players that are close in height like that, it's easier for them to be in sync and be on the same page when it comes to that block on the pin.
Schrader and Trump both going to the hardwood there, and Schrader a little slow to get up, taking a face full of the hardwood.
The good news is both of them share a laugh. They're able to get up. I think Lucy Trump went for that ball first, and Schrader was there for backup just in case.
And with a strong serve, Gardy finds the back corner and goes cross court with it.
Really impressive on both sides of the ball for that. That was a really tight set, a hard set for Gardy to follow. But putting it back in a zone 5 like that, so close to the line where Indiana's defense is moved up, really smart move.
Service error that time for Notre Dame, trying to get out of this Friday contest with a sweep. Indiana trying to fight. Alzolo received but couldn't pass it up. One of her teammates, and now the Hoosiers gaining a little bit of momentum here. And now with it, Rockwell's gonna understand and quiet her team down with both of her timeouts and wants to talk things over with them.
Rockwell making her team run for that error. Not the players in the game, but the players out of game have to suffer for that one. She's hyping them up for these last 2 points. Just a little bit of miscommunication there on that last play. Setter is always supposed to get second touch, but when Trump noticed that that wasn't going to happen, she was, if she had just gone a couple seconds ahead, she would have been able to pop that up. But miscommunication, therefore, the team's running.
Yeah, and for Indiana, just like Notre Dame, Indiana starts their conference slate with a lot of heavy hitters. You look at Washington, Oregon, the two newbies in the Big Ten, along with some traditional powers in Michigan State and Ohio State.
It'll be nice for Indiana to reset at Wilkinson Hall in Bloomington, Indiana, facing the same team, Notre Dame, that they've seen today, but then preparing for a tough road trip. Washington and Oregon all across the country. This team has never traveled that far for a game in their whole lives. Not the veterans. This is completely new territory for Steve Aird and his squad. So it'll be great to see how they can fare with all the travel and two powerhouse teams before coming back to play more familiar foes like Michigan State and the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Notre Dame 2 points away from walking out with a sweep. Indiana trying to fight for their right to stay in it. Gardy with a big swing. Corsellis with a kill, and it's off the deflection of Monson, and now Indiana, just like that, 3 points back.
Lonzo Corsellis, 16 total kills on the matchup, playing the game of her life, carrying this Indiana offense so far and showing no signs of slowing down.
Palazzolo has it set down at the net by Maddie Sell. And the Hoosiers now 2 points back of Notre Dame from tying it at 23.
Talk about the right place at the right time for Maddie Sell, perfectly positioned for that solo block.
Schrader with the pass. Gardy flat-footed, has to jump for it, and it's gonna work. Notre Dame at match point.
It wasn't a hard hit for Morgan Gardy. She adjusted. She's used to hitting those really tough, heavy arm kills to the back corner, but for her to be able to adjust and throw off the Hoosier defense like that is a really smart move to be able to seal that win.
Lucy Trump gets it over. Gary gets it across the net somehow. Schrader on the slide to Langer. Chasing it down is Tatum. Notre Dame allowed to set their system. Behind the back set. Indiana keeps it alive. Gardy has it rejected. Palazzolo gets a forearm on it. But
Indiana's ability to stay in this, to stay tough, to stay aggressive, not only on defense, but on offense. I credit everyone that was a part of the block. I credit Delaney Maple in the back, making plays happen.
Gary gets it over. Sant up to Schrader. She's going to sneak it through. Hayworth came in sliding. Corsellis. Schrader with the tap over. Tatum. Sant with the set. Now goes to Schrader. It's set down at the net, and Indiana places themselves 1 point back. And Coach Rockwell's going to take a timeout.
Talk about that stuff from the Hoosiers. That was the freshman middle blocker, Ella Borsima, standing tall at 6'2" and a force at the net, doing everything they've been told to do to keep this game alive. Friendly reminder, it is win by 2, so if Indiana does come back to get this 24th point, Notre Dame will have to play to 26, which keeps it interesting for the third and final set.
Indiana has been creeping closer and closer to Notre Dame. In the first set, it's a 25-15 victory for Notre Dame. In the second set, it's a 25-20 victory for Notre Dame. And now as we stand here in the third set, it's a 24-23 lead for Notre Dame.
The Hoosiers certainly finding their footing, and I don't think so far the scores have been indicative on the season that they've had. They have been so sound, and of course are coming off that 21-12 season. Momentum like that is so powerful and important for this team going into such a tough season. Aaron even made his schedule tougher this year because the Hoosiers missed the NCAA tournament because they didn't have enough ranked wins or big wins to be able to be a part of that field.
And for them, this would go a long way if Indiana would be able to come back and try and keep the momentum and get this 24th point. Now the barrow, Gary serving. Sant brings it back, and it's a point for Indiana. And it's now 24-24. We're playing to 26 at the minimum.
All of a sudden, this has become one of the most competitive games of the season for both squads.
Sant up to Gardy. Tatum has it, rejected at the net. Langer keeps it alive. Back over to Schrader. Sant once more. Gardy through the block, and Notre Dame 1 point away.
Purcell Pavilion is popping right now. Everybody is on their feet. Coach Rockwell is beside herself over there in the best kind of way. Now this is set point for the Fighting Irish.
Morgan Gardy, the freshman, to serve. Harry Diggs behind the back set. Tatum has it, rejected at the net. Hayworth will go to Corsellis. Motson with a great dig. Sant back behind to Schrader once more. Hayworth dropping it over, and Borsima with the kill. We're tied at 25.
Borsima getting Gardy off guard. Look at this beautiful placement from the freshman, tipping it over, being able to read the block from Grace Langer. A great read from the freshman at such a young age for Indiana.
resiliency from Indiana. Sent to Schrader, has it set down at the net. And now the Hoosiers in the driver's seat for the first time late in a set today.
It's important for them to capitalize on that scoring run because that gives them more confidence to finish out this set.
Tatum with the serve up against the net. Langer works it through the block and Notre Dame picks up the point. We're back tied.
Could we see this game go to 30? What a thriller this has been. Hoosier fans in here also on their feet. How exciting for an in-state rivalry.
Monson with the service ace, and Notre Dame takes back control.
There's the bow and arrow. When you are in a serving battle like this, and serving matters now more than ever to have your experienced graduate student on the line in Hattie Monson.
Monson serves again. Corsellis receives. Hayworth up against the net. Corsellis with the kill. Monson keeps it alive. Dockery's going to have to try and get it over some way. Borden once again tied. What a game this is.
Another example of Dockery almost diving into the cheerleaders to save that ball. Got a little bit of heat under it, but just not quite enough to secure that win.
Corsellis with the serve, sent up against the net. And Bjork sets it down. Notre Dame once more.
There's that one set that Bjork is so good at. In the middle, that set that's barely above the net, able to pop it down and send it right to the floor.
What a crazy finish to this one. Schrader gets it across. Rejected at the net. Monson up to Trump. Dug out on the back row. Corsellis with a motion attack. Palazzolo once more. Hayworth is able to get it to Saris, who's able to get it down, and it's tied at 28.
In college volleyball, when you're playing past 25 and it's back and forth, that is the most difficult time for a team to be able to side out because the stakes are so much higher. There is a lot of pressure. Feed it to your hardest hitter to be able to get that decisive kill.
There is no timeouts left for either team. We're playing until we got a winner.
Or until someone drops.
Hayworth gets it across. And Notre Dame picks up the point. They now lead 29-28.
Notre Dame sending their best server back to the line, and Sydney Palazzolo.
Palazzolo.
9 service aces on the season before this match even began. And 2 service aces on the day.
Exactly, bringing it up to 11. And Steve Ayer having a conversation with Terry Miller, the downward official. Palazzolo now back to serve. Gets it across. Saris has it set down, and Notre Dame completes the sweep of Indiana.
To finish it off with a serve.